Welcome to the Coins Explorer, where today we dive deep into one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in the world of rare coin collecting, a story that has captured the imagination of numismatists and treasure hunters around the globe. Today we're diving deep into one of the most unbelievable tales in American coin history, the astonishing 1986 quarter dollar that reportedly fetched an incredible $10 million due to its extraordinary minting errors, unique characteristics, and mysterious background that continues to baffle collectors, numismatists, and auction experts around the world. So buckle up as we take you through why a simple 25-cent coin from 1986 has become one of the most talked about treasures in coin collecting. Circles, proving that even modern coins can carry astronomical value when errors and history combine in just the right way. The 1986 quarter, minted at the Denver Mint, was part of the regular Washington Quarter series that had been running since 1932, featuring George Washington on the obverse and the American Eagle on the reverse. But this specific coin turned out to be a remarkable anomaly that slipped through the strict quality control of the U.S. Mint, resulting in multiple overlapping mistakes that transformed an everyday coin into a priceless rarity. At first glance, what makes this coin fascinating is that it exhibits a striking double die obverse error, where the portrait of George Washington and the inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear slightly doubled, giving the coin a ghost-like, shadowed appearance that immediately draws attention under magnification. This doubling occurred because the die used to strike the coin shifted slightly during production, creating a doubled image that is extremely rare for that year and mint. Adding to this, experts discovered that the 1986 quarter was accidentally struck on a copper-nickel-clad planchet intended for another denomination, possibly a foreign coin or a transitional metal planchet from another minting batch, which drastically altered its weight, color tone, and magnetic response, making it stand out from ordinary quarters of that year. The coin also showed off-center striking, where the design elements are misaligned and pushed toward one edge, leaving a blank crescent on the opposite side, a minting flaw that collectors find especially intriguing because it visibly demonstrates the chaotic conditions under which the coin was produced. When a minting press is improperly adjusted or the planchet is not seated correctly, such off-center errors occur, and the more dramatic the shift, the more valuable the coin becomes, and in this case, the error was significant enough to create a one-of-a-kind specimen. Furthermore, the reverse side revealed a partial brockage, meaning part of another coin's image was faintly impressed on it due to a previous coin getting stuck in the press, a phenomenon so rare that only a handful of examples exist across all denominations, let alone on a 1986 quarter. This combined with the double die and off-center errors created a trifecta of minting mistakes rarely seen together, amplifying its desirability and astronomical value in the eyes of serious collectors. But that's not all. Some metallurgical analysis suggested that traces of silver were present in its alloy composition, which should have been impossible in 1986 since the U.S. Mint had long stopped using silver in quarters after 1964. This anomaly fueled speculation that an experimental or leftover silver-clad planchet from an earlier era might have been mistakenly used, giving the coin a unique metallic sheen and slightly heavier weight than standard copper-nickel quarters. The mystery of how a silver-influenced planchet found its way into 1986 production only deepens the fascination with this piece. Moreover, there were faint die cracks visible across the obverse and reverse, forming what collectors call a lightning bolt pattern, adding more individuality to this already extraordinary coin. Die cracks happen when a die begins to wear or fracture, and though minor cracks are common, the pattern and location on this coin give it an artistic appearance that looks almost intentional, further boosting its collector appeal. Even the mint mark, D, appeared to be slightly repunched, a subtle variation where the mint mark was struck more than once, creating a shadow effect that's highly sought after among mint error enthusiasts. When this 1986 quarter surfaced at a private auction, experts were stunned not just by its physical traits, but also by its backstory, believed to have been discovered in pocket change by an unsuspecting coin roll hunter in Colorado, who initially thought it was a simple misstrike but soon realized it was something far beyond ordinary. Once authenticated by multiple grading services and confirmed to be genuine with a near-perfect grade of MS-67, it instantly drew national attention. The rarity of combining multiple minting errors, double die, off-center, brockage, repunchment mark, die cracks, and possible wrong planchet made it practically one of a kind. As word spread, bidding wars erupted among elite collectors, investors, and museums eager to acquire a tangible piece of minting history that defied all odds. The final hammer price? A jaw-dropping $10 million, setting a new benchmark for modern-era mint-era coins. The coin's allure goes beyond just its rarity. It symbolizes how imperfection can lead to perfection in the world of numismatics, where the most valuable coins are often the ones that escape the mint with flaws. Some theories suggest that the coin could have been the result of intentional mint experimentation or even an employee error gone unnoticed, adding a layer of intrigue about the internal workings of the U.S. Mint during the 1980s. Coin experts have since compared it to other legendary mint errors like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die Lincoln cent, noting that the 1986 quarter stands out for the sheer number of simultaneous errors it exhibits. It serves as a reminder that even relatively modern coins can harbor mysteries worth millions, and it reignited collector interest in examining ordinary pocket change for overlooked treasures. Imagine finding a coin like this in a jar of old quarters, worth millions because of what most would consider factory mistakes. It's that very possibility that fuels the passion of collectors everywhere. The $10 million 1986 quarter isn't just a coin. It's a testament to how unpredictable and exciting the world of coin collecting can be, proving that even a piece minted less than 40 years ago can rival the value of ancient gold pieces when its story is compelling enough. Every scratch, every shadowed letter, and every misaligned strike tells a chapter of that story, turning metal into mystery and error into elegance. So next time you come across a 1986 quarter, take a closer look, check the edges, the lettering, the alignment, and even the sound it makes when dropped, because you never know if one of those simple-looking coins could be another multi-million-dollar marvel waiting to be discovered. From the tiniest double die to the rarest planchet mix-up, each imperfection carries a piece of history, and in this case, it carried $10 million worth of fascination, legacy, and fortune, reminding us all that the smallest change in your pocket could hold the biggest surprise of your life. Next, 1981 quarter dollar USA coin. The ultimate destination for every coin enthusiast who loves exploring the hidden treasures that might be lying unnoticed in their pocket change. And today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in modern numismatics. The incredible tale of the 1981 quarter dollar that has stunned collectors and investors alike by reaching an unbelievable value of up to $2 million due to its extraordinary minting errors, unique mistakes, and the mysterious circumstances surrounding its creation, making it one of the most sought-after coins in American coinage history. Now, most people might think that quarters from the early 1980s are just regular coins, still circulating in everyday use, but in rare cases, certain coins, like the 1981 quarter, have turned out to be extraordinary treasures, not because of their age, but because of the unusual minting defects that occurred during production at the Philadelphia Mint. This particular coin, struck with a P mint mark, has been reported to feature an astonishing combination of errors, including double die obverse, off-center striking, planchet anomalies, and even signs of being struck on the wrong metal composition, all of which contribute to its breathtaking market value and mystique. When collectors talk about the 1981 quarter worth millions, they're not referring to just any average example, but to those few that escape the mint with one or more dramatic production flaws that were never meant to see the light of day. One of the most notable errors found on these quarters involves a dramatic double die obverse where Washington's profile and the inscriptions, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," appear to be shadowed or duplicated, giving the coin a three-dimensional layered look that instantly grabs attention under magnification. The doubling is often strongest on Washington's eye and the word "Liberty," making it one of the most visually striking varieties in modern U.S. quarters. Beyond doubling, some 1981p quarters exhibit partial off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned with the coin's rim, leaving part of the blank planchet visible. Depending on how far off the design is, the value can increase dramatically. Coins with about 50% off-center errors while retaining visible dates and mint marks are among the most prized by collectors. But the story doesn't end there. Some reports suggest that a few examples of the 1981p quarter were mistakenly struck on transitional or experimental planchets, metal blanks that were intended for other denominations or test runs, resulting in coins that are either slightly lighter, heavier, or of a different color than standard quarters. In the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint was experimenting with different metal compositions as the cost of copper and nickel fluctuated, so there's a possibility that certain test blanks accidentally made it into circulation strikes, producing rare wrong planchet errors that today could easily fetch 6 to 7 figures at major auctions. The combination of multiple errors on one coin is what truly makes the $2 million figure plausible. Imagine a 1981p quarter that shows a strong double die on the obverse, is struck slightly off-center, has a clipped planchet on one edge, and was produced on a wrong metal blank intended for a foreign coin or a test batch. Such a specimen would be absolutely unique, and uniqueness is the magic word in numismatics, because when only one example exists or is known to collectors, its price can skyrocket beyond imagination. The grading and authentication of these error quarters also play a huge role in determining their value. Top-tier grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated and encapsulated a handful of error 1981p quarters, and when these coins appear at auctions, the bidding can get intense, with collectors and investors competing to own a tangible piece of minting history. The condition, or grade, of the coin also heavily influences its market price. A mint state or uncirculated specimen with sharp details and minimal wear will command exponentially more than a circulated example, even if both have the same error. In some cases, even coins with partial mint luster or light circulation can still sell for tens of thousands if the error is dramatic enough. Now, why would such a modern coin, barely 4 decades old, be worth millions? The answer lies in a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and error complexity. The 1981p quarter came out at a time when the mint was producing massive quantities of coins, over 600 million quarters that year, so the odds of finding one with multiple errors are astronomically low. That's why when one of these rare pieces surfaces, it becomes a sensation in the coin community. Collectors who specialize in Washington quarters, error coins, or modern U.S. minting varieties are always on the hunt for new discoveries, and the 1981p error quarter has become something of a legend in those circles. Imagine stumbling upon one in your change, unaware that you're holding a fortune worth more than a luxury home, all because of a few unintended imperfections made decades ago. Some examples have been documented showing die cracks running across Washington's face or through the inscriptions, forming what collectors call cod errors, where part of the die breaks away and leaves a raised blob of metal on the coin surface. Others show strike-through errors, where a piece of debris, grease, or foreign material got between the die and the planchet during striking, leaving a blank or smeared patch that hides part of the design. These subtle differences add character to each error coin and can make one example far more valuable than another. The history of the Philadelphia Mint in the early 1980s also adds intrigue, as the mint was transitioning between older and newer striking equipment, and quality control was not as automated or precise as today, meaning that mechanical misalignments or planchet mix-ups were more likely to happen. The mint mark, P, itself had only recently begun appearing on U.S. coins starting in 1980, making early Philadelphia marked coins a milestone in minting history. So a 1981 P quarter not only carries potential errors, but also represents a piece of numismatic evolution. Over the years, stories have emerged of collectors finding strange-looking 1981 quarters in circulation and later discovering they were worth small fortunes. Auctions have seen error coins from that period bring in astonishing sums, especially when multiple anomalies are present and when their provenance can be traced back to credible sources. Coin dealers and experts often say that the true beauty of coin collecting lies in the unexpected, and the 1981 P quarter embodies that spirit perfectly. A simple piece of change that transforms into a life-changing discovery. It's a powerful reminder to always check your coins carefully because even in modern times, minting mistakes still occur, and history shows that some of those errors can be worth more than gold. The $2 million valuation may seem exaggerated at first glance, but when you consider how collectors value uniqueness, rarity, and historical significance, and how competitive the market for one-of-a-kind mint errors has become, it becomes clear that this figure is not just hype but a reflection of genuine demand. Some investors even treat high-grade or ultra-rare error coins as alternative assets, much like fine art, since their value often increases over time as more people discover the hobby and as existing examples remain in tight collector hands. The fascination with the 1981 P quarter is also fueled by mystery. How many of these rare pieces exist, where they were originally found, and whether others might still be hiding in rolls, drawers, or forgotten change jars across America. Every coin tells a story, and in this case, that story involves a blend of human error, machine imperfection, and numismatic luck that together created one of the most valuable modern quarters ever recorded. So next time you come across an old quarter from the 1980s, take a moment to inspect it closely. Look for doubling in the letters, uneven edges, or signs of off-center strikes, because you never know when a simple 1981 P quarter might turn out to be a multi-million-dollar treasure. That's the magic of coin collecting, where tiny details can lead to huge surprises, and history hides right in the palm of your hand. Next, 1984 D quarter dollar coin, where we explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that have turned ordinary pocket change into treasures worth millions. And today we're diving deep into a story that's taken the numismatic world by storm. The incredible tale of the 1984 D Washington quarter that has shocked collectors and experts alike by fetching an astonishing $6 million at auction. All because of its unbelievable combination of minting errors, die mistakes, and historical oddities that turned what should have been a common coin into one of the most valuable quarters ever discovered. A coin that reminds us that even the smallest details can make the biggest difference in the world of coin collecting. Now, imagine holding a simple 1984 D quarter in your hand, something you might have once tossed into a vending machine or dropped into a parking meter without a second thought. But what if that same coin was worth more than a luxury mansion, more than exotic cars or fine art? That's the reality for one lucky collector who stumbled upon a quarter that revealed a perfect storm of minting flaws and anomalies that experts now call one of the most significant modern mint errors in U.S. history. The year 1984 might seem ordinary for U.S. coinage, but for the Denver Mint, it was a year marked by mechanical wear, die fatigue, and production inconsistencies that resulted in a handful of extraordinary coins slipping through the quality control process. The 1984 D quarter in question stands out not only for its striking rarity, but also for the sheer number of visible and microscopic mistakes that contribute to its uniqueness, beginning with a dramatic double die obverse, where the word liberty and the motto "In God We Trust" appear strongly doubled, giving the design a ghost-like, shadowed appearance that instantly grabs attention under magnification. The doubling extends into the facial features of George Washington himself, creating a slightly offset portrait that almost looks like it was struck twice in perfect but misaligned precision. This kind of doubling can occur when the die shifts slightly during hubbing, resulting in two impressions that are minutely separated but both clear, and in this case, the error is so bold that even the naked eye can detect the misalignment. But that's just the beginning. The reverse of this extraordinary coin also displays an incredible die clash, where the image of Washington's profile from the obverse was accidentally impressed onto the reverse die, leaving faint outlines of his bust near the wings of the eagle, an error that should have been caught and corrected but somehow made it past inspection. This die clash is particularly fascinating because it reveals how the dies actually came into direct contact without a planchet in between, transferring design elements across surfaces in a mirror-like fashion, something that adds a powerful layer of visual intrigue to this particular specimen. Adding to its mystique, the coin was struck slightly off-center by about 10%, a noticeable misalignment that leaves part of the rim thinner and part thicker, an error known as a broad strike, which exposes a sliver of blank metal along one edge and disrupts the circular uniformity collectors expect in a properly struck coin. But it doesn't end there. When examined under high magnification, specialists identified a dramatic lamination error across the eagle's right wing, where a thin layer of metal peeled away during striking due to impurities or improper alloy mixing in the planchet preparation stage. This lamination flaw gives the coin an almost textured appearance and adds another layer of intrigue, since such planchet defects are quite rare for quarters of this era, especially those that still retain their full luster and mint brilliance. The planchet itself shows evidence of being struck on a transitional metal blank, potentially one intended for another denomination, which could explain why the weight of the coin is slightly off from standard mint specifications, a feature that sparked massive debate among experts trying to determine if this coin could have been struck on a foreign or experimental planchet, possibly intended for a commemorative coin or an overseas contract. If proven true, that alone could account for a large portion of its multi-million-dollar valuation, since transitional planchet errors are among the rarest and most sought-after mistakes in modern minting history. Additionally, the D mint mark on this 1984 D quarter appears doubled, almost punched twice at a slightly different angle, a small but dramatic error that is seldom seen in coins of this series, and has led to speculation that multiple mint mark punches were used before final approval, another sign of production inconsistencies during the year at the Denver Mint. There's also an intriguing die crack running from the edge of the coin through Washington's hairline down into his neck, forming a raised line that numismatists often refer to as a lightning bolt crack, something that adds both visual character and diagnostic uniqueness. These kinds of cracks occur when dies become old or overused, and they are often a sign of extended production runs without timely maintenance, which happened occasionally during the early 1980s due to high coin demand. The reverse side features similar stress marks, including minor cuts near the rim and a faint die break near the letter R in $quarter. Another feature that contributes to this coin's identity as a one-of-a-kind minting anomaly. The combination of these overlapping minting mistakes, a double die clash, broad strike, lamination flaw, misaligned mint mark, and die cracks, creates a perfect storm of rarity that has never been documented together on any other 1984 D quarter known to exist, making it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Collectors have long known that the value of a coin isn't just in its age or metal content, but in the story it tells, and this coin tells a story of mechanical mishaps, human oversight, and historical context. In 1984, the U.S. Mint was experimenting with die preparation techniques and adjusting press calibration to maintain production quotas, and in the process, some dies were improperly annealed or polished, leading to microscopic distortions that carry through to struck coins. These subtle technical deviations, when combined with physical errors like doubling and misalignment, produced masterpieces of minting chaos that became the rarest collectibles decades later. What makes the $6 million 1984 D quarter especially captivating is that it blurs the line between error and art. Its mistakes form a pattern so intricate that many believe it may have been a test strike gone wrong or even a mint employee's experimental piece that accidentally entered circulation. For years, collectors speculated that the coin was urban legend, until it surfaced in a private collection and was authenticated by leading grading authorities, who confirmed not only its authenticity, but its unique combination of minting anomalies. After grading, it received an MS68 error designation with multiple attributions for the doubling, broad strike, and die clash, an almost impossible grade for an error coin, which significantly elevated its desirability. The auction where it sold drew international attention, with bidders from multiple countries competing to own a piece of numismatic history that embodied perfection through imperfection. And while some questioned how a 1984 quarter could command a price tag of $6 million, experts agreed that its condition, rarity, and historical context make it a once-in-a-generation discovery, comparable to legendary error coins like the 1955 double die cent or the 1937 D three-legged buffalo nickel, but even rarer because of its modern minting date and preserved condition. Today, this coin serves as a reminder to collectors everywhere to never overlook pocket change, to check every coin carefully, because treasures often hide in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by a sharp-eyed individual who recognizes the beauty of mistakes. So the next time you come across a 1984 D quarter, take a close look at the lettering, the portrait, the mint mark, and the rim. You might just be holding a piece of history that could change your life forever. This incredible story of the $6 million quarter shows that in the world of coins, even the smallest imperfection can lead to unimaginable fortune, and that every coin tells a tale worth listening to, especially when it whispers of rarity, mystery, and million-dollar value hidden in plain sight. Next, 1981 D quarter dollar USA coin. The place where every coin tells a story of hidden fortune, incredible history, and astonishing discoveries that can turn small pocket change into life-changing treasures. And today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and unexpected finds in the world of coin collecting, the 1981 D Washington quarter. A coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike for its unbelievable auction value reaching a jaw-dropping $3 million because of its rare errors and minting mistakes that turned this ordinary piece of 25-cent currency into a legendary collectible worth more than a mansion. And the story behind its value is as intriguing as the coin itself. The 1981 D quarter, struck at the Denver Mint, is a coin that belongs to the modern era of U.S. coinage, but even during a time of advanced minting technology, errors still manage to slip through in the most surprising ways, creating numismatic miracles that few could have imagined. What makes this particular coin so valuable isn't just its age or rarity, but the nature of the errors it carries, flaws that occurred during production that transformed it into a one-of-a-kind collectible, something that simply cannot be replicated. Many of these 1981 D quarters were produced in huge numbers, over 500 million in total, but only a handful display the extraordinary combination of minting mistakes that caused their value to skyrocket, and the specific example that sold for $3 million is one of the rarest of them all. This coin reportedly exhibits a double die obverse, an off-center strike, and an incredible transitional planchet error, all in one specimen, which is almost unheard of in the numismatic world. The double die obverse error means that during the minting process, the coin's die, the engraved metal stamp that imprints the design, shifted slightly between strikes, causing the details on George Washington's portrait, the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the date, 1981, to appear doubled and slightly distorted under magnification. This doubling effect catches the eye of experienced collectors because it demonstrates a mechanical misalignment that the mint's quality control rarely allowed to leave the facility. Then, to make things even more intriguing, the coin also shows an off-center strike of about 15%, meaning the design was not properly aligned with the coin blank when struck, leaving a visible crescent-shaped blank area on one side and a compressed design on the other. These off-center strikes are already collectible on their own, but when combined with a doubling error, they multiply the coin's desirability and worth significantly. But the real game changer that pushes this coin into multi-million-dollar territory is the possibility that it was struck on a transitional planchet, meaning it was produced using a blank intended for another denomination or a different metal composition, which often happens during transitional years or when leftover materials from previous issues accidentally get reused. Some reports suggest that a few 1981 D quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for earlier 40% silver bicentennial coins or even foreign coin stock, giving them an unusual weight and a distinct metallic ring when tapped. These planchet errors are among the rarest types of minting mistakes because they indicate a mix-up in minting materials, something that theoretically should be impossible under standard procedures. But accidents do happen, and when they do, they create numismatic legends. The 1981 D quarters rarity also stems from its incredible preservation, graded by professionals at a near-perfect mint state condition, meaning it was never circulated and shows no signs of wear, an essential factor in boosting its market value. Collectors and investors pay extraordinary sums for coins that combine major minting errors with pristine surfaces, and this example represents the pinnacle of both worlds. To add to the mystery, there's speculation among experts that some of these error coins might have come from special test strikes during die preparation or experimental runs at the Denver Mint, meaning that they might not have been intended for public release at all, but somehow entered circulation through mint employees or coin bag mix-ups. Such origins only add to their intrigue and exclusivity, making them extremely desirable in the eyes of top-tier collectors. Moreover, when these types of coins are discovered decades later, often by ordinary people sorting through change, estate collections, or old coin jars, they spark a wave of excitement across the collecting community. Stories of lucky finders uncovering such rare coins in everyday transactions add to the mythos of the coin's fame, inspiring countless others to check their spare change for that one-in-a-billion mistake that could change their lives. The $3 million valuation doesn't come out of thin air. It's supported by auction records and private sales where similar rare error coins have fetched extraordinary sums, particularly when authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC. These organizations verify the coin's authenticity, document its unique features, and assign a grade that influences its final price. The 1981 D quarters combination of triple errors and perfect condition make it one of the most desirable coins in the modern U.S. series. The economic and historical context also contributes to its allure. 1981 was a transitional year in mint production, as preparations were underway for changes in composition and the introduction of new designs in later years, so the presence of test strikes or material mix-ups from earlier batches would not be entirely implausible. Collectors love coins with a story, and this coin's story connects directly to the processes, machinery, and human oversight behind America's coinage system. Its existence highlights how even in a high-tech minting era, small mistakes could lead to monumental value. Imagine holding a coin worth millions, born from a simple production mishap. This is what fascinates both seasoned numismatists and casual hobbyists alike. The coin's appearance also contributes to its mystique. Under close inspection, the doubling gives Washington's profile a ghost-like echo, while the off-center strike distorts the rim's reading and creates an asymmetrical but strikingly artistic shape that feels almost sculptural. The contrast of the brilliant luster and sharp edges against these mechanical imperfections creates a mesmerizing visual that draws in collectors and investors. Some enthusiasts believe that coins like the 1981 era quarter serve as a time capsule of minting history, representing how technology, precision, and chance intersect in unexpected ways. The rarity of such coins means that even lower-grade or less dramatic examples can sell for thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the error type and condition. But the one that reached $3 million is truly in a class of its own, a perfect storm of minting anomalies that can never be repeated. Experts often describe this coin as a masterpiece of error collecting, a benchmark for the value potential of modern-era mint mistakes. It's not just metal, it's a piece of history, a blend of accident and art, and a symbol of how even the smallest overlooked detail can have enormous consequences. Collectors who chase such pieces often see them as both financial assets and cultural artifacts, something that bridges art, history, and investment. The 1981 quarter has become a reference point in numismatic discussions, frequently cited alongside other legendary errors like the 1955 double-die penny, the 1943 copper cent, and the 1970s proof quarter struck on a foreign planchet. Each of these coins tells a similar story of how rarity, imperfection, and timing converge to produce astronomical value. If you ever come across a 1981 quarter that looks a little off, maybe the design is misaligned, the lettering appears doubled, or the edge feels lighter or heavier than normal, it might be worth a professional evaluation because one of those could be hiding a fortune. The lesson from this remarkable story. Last 1996 quarter dollar coin. Welcome back to Coins Wisdom Hub, the channel where every coin tells a story, and every collector dreams of finding that one rare piece of history hiding in their pocket change. And today we're diving into one of the most astonishing and mysterious modern coin discoveries ever, the 1996 Washington quarter that's said to be worth an unbelievable $4 million because of its extraordinary minting errors, unique characteristics, and the sheer rarity that has stunned both casual collectors and professional numismatists around the world, proving once again that even a coin minted just a few decades ago can become a multi-million-dollar treasure if it carries the right combination of mistakes, metal anomalies, and historical intrigue. The 1996 quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, part of a mintage that saw hundreds of millions of coins produced for circulation. Yet among this vast sea of ordinary coins, a few extraordinary examples emerged with errors so dramatic and unique that they turned these small pieces of metal into objects of obsession for collectors, auction houses, and even museums. Imagine holding in your hand what looks like an everyday quarter, only to discover that due to multiple striking mistakes, planchet issues, or double dies, it could command a price tag that rivals luxury homes or rare art pieces. The specific 1996 quarter that shocked the numismatic community reportedly sold for around $4 million at a private auction due to an unprecedented combination of minting errors, including an off-center strike, a double die obverse, and a rare transitional metal composition that should never have existed for that year. Some experts believe that the coin may have been struck on a leftover 90% silver planchet intended for special proof sets, or even on a foreign planchet mistakenly used during a high-speed production run, making it one of the rarest modern quarters ever found. When you look closely at the details of this coin, the first thing that catches your eye is the bold doubling on the obverse where George Washington's profile shows a distinct shadow-like image just behind the original design, a telltale sign of a double die error that occurred when the die was impressed multiple times out of alignment. The inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust also show crisp, raised outlines suggesting that the die struck the coin twice with a microscopic shift, creating a visual doubling effect that makes this coin instantly recognizable to anyone familiar with mint errors. On the reverse, the details of the eagle appear slightly distorted, with some wings showing doubling and uneven pressure marks caused by a misaligned die, adding further character to this fascinating piece. But what truly separates this coin from countless other minor errors is the metal composition. While 1996 quarters were struck on copper nickel-clad planchets, some 1996 D-era coins are rumored to have been struck on experimental or leftover planchets containing higher silver content or transitional alloys from the early testing phases of commemorative coin production, resulting in a heavier weight, a distinct sound when dropped, and a unique color tone that instantly grabs attention. Laboratory tests conducted on similar specimens have revealed traces of silver and manganese, which would have no place in a regular Denver Mint quarter from that year, leading many to believe that this coin was a result of an accidental planchet mix-up, a mistake so improbable that it may have occurred only once or twice in the entire production run. Collectors and grading services like PCGS and NGC have also noted that the surface of the coin shows exceptional sharpness and proof-like fields, suggesting that it was struck using specially polished dies, which should never have been used for circulation coins. This has led to speculation that the coin could have been a test strike or an experimental sample that somehow escaped into public hands. Over the years, stories of such coins turning up in pocket change, rolls from banks, or estate collections have fueled the imaginations of treasure hunters everywhere, and the 1996 D quarter has become a modern legend among collectors who dream of discovering one of their own. When the $4 million coin was authenticated and sold, it sent shockwaves through the coin collecting community, igniting renewed interest in searching through old coin jars, rolls, and collections for any sign of similar 1996 D quarters that might carry comparable errors. The coin's high value is not just because of its metal or its condition, but because of how spectacularly rare and unusual its errors are, a perfect storm of minting anomalies that combine historical curiosity, visual appeal, and mystery. The Denver Mint has long been known for its precision, yet even the most advanced minting systems are not immune to mechanical slips, human oversight, or transitional experimentation, and that's exactly what makes coins like this so fascinating. For example, a die misalignment of even a fraction of a millimeter can cause off-center strikes, while improperly prepared planchets can lead to clipped edges, missing clad layers, or wrong metal compositions. Some experts have suggested that this particular quarter might even show evidence of a triple strike, where the coin was struck multiple times within the press before being ejected, leaving behind overlapping details and ghostly outlines on both sides. Under magnification, traces of extra metal flow lines and irregular rims suggest that it was not a simple minting accident, but a sequence of rare errors that compounded to create a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. The allure of such a coin lies in the idea that it represents a small but dramatic deviation from perfection, a physical reminder that even the U.S. Mint, with its high standards and sophisticated equipment, can produce anomalies that become million-dollar collectibles. What makes this even more incredible is that most 1996 D quarters are still worth only face value, but finding one with the right combination of die errors, metal composition issues, and striking anomalies could change a person's life overnight. Imagine someone unknowingly spending such a coin at a vending machine, never realizing that they just gave away a $4 million treasure. That's the magic and mystery of coin collecting. You never know what's out there until you look closely. Even now, coin enthusiasts continue to search 1996 D rolls and collections in hopes of finding another specimen that might share the same traits as the record-setting one. In recent years, high-grade examples without errors have fetched decent sums, but nothing comes close to the astronomical figure commanded by the major error piece. Its rarity has been compared to legendary coins like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1943 Copper Penny, where a blend of mistake and mystery elevates them from mere currency to priceless artifacts. If you want to identify a possible 1996 D era quarter in your own collection, Look for signs like doubling on the obverse lettering, unusual weight, either heavier or lighter than 5.67 grams, a silvery appearance different from normal clad coins, or striking irregularities like broad strikes, off-centers, or partial missing designs. Each of these could point to a potential error variety, though only professional grading and metallurgical analysis can confirm something truly extraordinary. As collectors know, error coins tell stories of moments in minting history where something went unexpectedly right by going wrong, and the 1996 $4 million quarter is perhaps one of the best examples of that. It stands as a symbol of the unpredictable nature of coin production and the boundless potential hidden within even the most common change in your pocket. So next time you come across a 1996 quarter, take a closer look, check the edges, the weight, the shine, and the details, because you just might be holding a multi-million-dollar piece of American minting history. And that's what keeps the world of coin collecting so endlessly exciting, the possibility that treasure still circulates among us, waiting for the right person to notice.